Good morning, Georgiana. Welcome to the final Take 5 edition of our Advent Christmas devotional. So we pick up the last part of the story. So if you've been tracking with us, Caesar Augustus sends Joseph and Mary to Bethlehem. They get there, no room in the inn, baby born in manger. Then the angel of the Lord appears to the shepherds. Whoa, they freak out, and it's bad. And then the glory of the Lord shines, and bright lights are everywhere, and the shepherds are blown away, and all that. So this is where we pick up the story. In verse 15, it says, when the angels had left the shepherds and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about. So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby who was lying in the manger. When they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what has been told them about the child, and all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. But Mary treasured these things and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned to glorifying and praising God for all the things they had heard and seen, which was just as they had been told. All right, so at this point of the story, the shepherds have an option, right? Just as we do. Anytime the gospel is presented to anyone, it's a choice then follows. It's a choice that I can embrace the gospel, or I can deflect or deny the gospel, right? So the shepherds in this moment have this experience with God, this declaration of this Son of God coming to earth. And so they make a choice. Let's go and see. Let's go and see. I always think at Christmas time is an opportunity for us to invite people to come and see. You know, and never has there been a better time, now that we're doing virtual church, for you to invite people that you love, that you might not have normally invited to church for whatever reason, to invite them to participate in virtual Christmas Eve services or virtual Christmas Day services. For us to have an opportunity to speak blessing into somebody's life, right? But there's always this moment where we need to come and see, where we need to come and see Jesus for who Jesus is. One of the things I love about the end of this story is that after the shepherds have come and see, what it says they do? They left what? Glorifying God, right? So their faith had grown. They had matured in their understanding of who God was. They felt richly blessed. I think that's what we all want at our Christmas time, is to feel richly blessed. We want to have those moments where we see the ones we love that are blessed by the things we give them. But what if the thing we're supposed to give them most of all is Jesus? What if that's our priority at Christmas? Church, part of the reason we did Simple Christmas some 15 years ago was because chaos had overtaken this thing the church had created, which was to celebrate Jesus' birth. Now it's not so much about Jesus' birth in our culture anymore as much as it is about materialism and Amazon and, you know, how many packages are arriving at your doorstep and all those kind of things. And listen, I'm not a Grinch or Scrooge. I think all of that's part of it. Man, I don't want us to miss this thing, right? So I share these words again. They said, let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about. So there's two parts to that. You need to tell people about what Christmas is. You just can't assume anymore in our culture that everybody knows what Christmas is about. It's just not the way it used to be. So we need to share. And then from that sharing, we need to help them see, help them experience the Christ you know. And so I hope as we prepare for Simple Christmas, that you will be planning in your heart ways to not only share Jesus with your family and others, but for it to be the centerpiece of your Christmas. Not an add-on, not something like we're going to have Christmas and then we're going to sprinkle a little Jesus in at the end. We're going to ask the Holy Spirit to bless our Christmas, but then we're not going to acknowledge Jesus at all. I'm not talking about that kind of Christmas. I'm talking about a Christmas that starts with Jesus, then ends with Jesus. Can you imagine in this season where Christmas is going to be weird for a whole bunch of families? I know it's going to be weird at the Calhoun house. Our youngest son, Chris, is having to work Christmas Day. He's an ICU trauma nurse. He's going to be busy taking care of patients. So it's different at our house. A little weird. But the one thing that doesn't change at our house is the centerpiece, and that's Jesus Christ. Church, as your pastor, that's the only thing that I want for us for Christmas, is that we would simplify Christmas so much that the only thing that we could see would be Jesus in the center. So that's my prayer for you this week, is that in the hustle and bustle that will still be Christmas in a COVID age, that you will find a way to elevate Christ, to come and see the glory of the one and only Son of God, which is given to us. And then, like Mary, we would treasure these things in our heart, right? That they would become not only a centerpiece of our life, but really the indwelling of the Spirit in our heart. This is Christmas. I love you so much, church. I pray a very merry, simple Christmas for you this week, and know that we'll be back with you next week with something new. Love you tons.